Hello there, everybody. This is Cholera, and welcome to Game 2 of SamsungCon versus SKT1. We've got none other than Firebathero versus Best. I cannot wait for this game, and I cannot wait for Firebathero to somehow pull a victory and do a awesome tilt-inducing dance against Best. I mean, just think about it. Firebathero is so much the underdog in this matchup, and if he somehow wins, that is going to put Best on tilt for the rest of his life. Of course, I don't think that's very likely at all. Firebathero has been on a rather major slump recently. Best is one of the best Protoss versus Terrans out there. Really, him and Jangbi have statistically the best records. Jangbi, I believe, is around 70, and Best is at 68% against Terran. That is incredible. Firebathero is around a cool 40-something, if he's reached 40 at all. I think he's still in the 30s, perhaps. And he is historically not been very good against Best. As we saw earlier, 0-2 against Best in their lifetime record against each other. But I gotta root for the underdog here. Firebathero is gonna be facing off against one of the best Protoss is out there, and you know, I gotta say, Kespa seems to have banned, seems to have removed their ban against dancing, because against Haya, Firebathero did a pretty significant dance after he won in that game that Rise and I cast a few weeks ago. So perhaps they're allowing the hip thrusting. Maybe they're only allowing a certain angle of hip thrusting. Maybe they actually have to tell a Kespa referee before they're dancing. Who knows? Kespa is kind of over strict, but at least they're allowing Firebathero to dance. As Rise always says, Rise, unfortunately, by the way, is away this weekend. Otherwise, of course, I'd be casting with this with him. But you know, as Rise says, just let the man dance. And for those of you who don't know, Firebathero was actually a dance instructor before he played for SamsungCon. He actually was head of the, he was actually part of the Bolshoi ballet dancers. There's a Korean girl, and he was actually institutionalized too. The man is actually clinically insane, Firebathero. He was institutionalized for about 3 months after that Pro League dance where he jumped into the ocean. He actually developed schizophrenia afterwards. Bet you guys didn't know that. This is Outsider, by the way. Firebathero here on the 1 o'clock location, and Best at the 9 o'clock location. A very balanced map in Terran versus Protoss, it appears statistically, and in practice. I think both sides have different advantages they can take, and we'll see. I mean, I think this is a good map for a fast expand for Terran. Certainly that does help them a lot in facing off against Protoss. At the same time, though, basically Protoss have a very good amount of maneuverability with shuttle play. They can get behind the Terran's mineral lines at their protected expansions, and they also can go for some Arbiter recalls there. We saw that in spectacular fashion done to Flash by Stork a couple of days ago. Flash, of course, did not have a good day that day, losing 0-2. Pretty painful to watch. And here is Best gonna scout Firebathero. Firebathero not gonna seal off. That's kind of interesting. Usually he does that little characteristic move where he stops building his barracks and then starts his supply depot and then finishes his barracks later. It does seem though Best is not gonna be able to get in. So Firebathero gonna put down the factory, and he's got one SCV on gas. That looks like the beginning to a fast expand. For those of you who don't remember, this map has a protected natural expansion, meaning it cannot be attacked from the outside, and it has a normal natural expansion. I expect Best to go for Reavers pretty early on in this game, or at least for shuttle tech. It just seems to be the standard for Protoss on this map. And Best, of course, is well known for his mobility play. He's very good with Arbiters. He is, dare I say, the best Protoss with Arbiter play. And I think that's pretty much indisputed. You know, just like Jangbi's Templar play, Best can really get some amazing recalls. I mean, he is famous especially for just doing nothing at all the entire game, and then doing a double recall inside of Terran's base, and then attacking from the front at the same time. And then basically just wiping the Terran off the face of the earth that way. The Terran just cannot draw their forces to the correct locations in time, and then Best just wins that way. It's kind of silly. But that's what happens. Firebathero is going for a standard opening. I actually like that. Firebathero has been going for way too much cheese against Protoss, and that just doesn't work. Protoss is just expected from him. It's kind of a desperation play. So I'm glad to see he's confident enough to go for a normal build. FBH has got himself an SCV here at the back location. He might try to sneak it through. I don't think he's going to be able to. And he's not going to be able to scout whether Best has expanded or not. Best right now has not. Oh, no, he has actually in his protected expansion. He's not going to go for the other expansion he has access to. This is a very expansion-heavy map, as you can see, of course. Those expansions are also somewhat protected at top, not fully. But certainly, it is going to lead towards a longer game unless one of them can finish it off sooner. I mean, the upper expansions, by the way, are mineral only unless you get into the mid area using some kind of trickery. This girl does not care that she's in camera, probably because she's hot. And that guy next to him does for some reason. There is Firebathero's command center finishing up, and Firebathero going to go for an academy next. Probably has an engineering bay. Maybe not, actually. Maybe he's just going to go for an academy instead. That's certainly alright, although it's a little bit weaker against Reaver play, since you have nothing shooting up in your entire base. But it's not going to matter. It looks like Best is gone for a fast expand instead. He's not going to have Reavers out for a little bit of time, and Firebathero should be able to scan that before that makes much of a difference. Firebathero, you should note, also has gotten a second factory out a little bit earlier than is standard. Usually in the Flash build, we would be seeing an armory and engineering bay at this point. So this leads me to think that FBH might be going for an earlier attack. Try to find some sort of timing attack, and we'll see what happens. Range upgrade there going up for Best. Best also on a bit of a slump recently. I mean, you know, these Best... The best pro gamers really just they flow and ebb a little bit in terms of really how good they are, except for the very, very best. I really think they hardly ever do go in slumps, and by that I mean Bisu and Jaedong, of course. I used to include Flash in that category, but honestly Flash recently has not been doing that well. Lita may soon join that category, although Lita did lose to Flash recently. We've got 6 Dragoons here, or 5, and we've got a number of forces coming out for Firebathero with mines. He's got mine first, and he's got an SCV out pushing 2. If he has an engineering bay, he might put some turrets up front in the natural expansion of Best. We'll have to see, though. He is going for a pretty strong push here. Best does have observers, though, so that should help him a good deal. And we'll see how much damage that FBH can do here. Not sure if he can do much at all. Best is pretty good against defending these types of attacks, as is pretty much any Protoss. Is a pretty standard-looking attack. And there is the observer spotting everything that's going on here. A starport also done for FBH. So thinking about a dropship, actually. This is why he's gone for the 2 factories, of course, and no engineering bay. He can actually build a Wraith if he can actually build a Wraith if Best decides to go shuttles. I think it's a pretty good strategy here. It's all going to come down to execution. Firebathero's got himself an early opening here that could certainly win games against most Protosses, but can he execute? He's getting a little bit of damage done to those Dragoons. He's actually forcing Best back. Best does have an observer out, though, and I don't think Firebathero has enough in the way of vultures. Best doing a nice mind drag there, and he's killed off all the vultures. Unfortunately for Firebathero, this means that he's going to have to fall back. Oh man, that's unfortunate, because I think a better Terran player or worse Protoss player could have resulted in that expansion going down, but Best is just too good to let that happen. His Dragoon play is just so good. And usually I'm not very impressed by Dragoon play in general. I think they're pretty sissy units, but look at that. I mean, Best lost like 1 Zealot and maybe 4 Dragoons, and he killed pretty much the entire forward army of Firebathero. Now Firebathero is forced to run back and go on the defensive. Very nice play there by Best. The observer, of course, helps a lot, but the fact that he didn't lose that many Dragoons to those mines at all is so impressive. And he's just taking up, just taking a toll here on Firebathero, who's down to just 1 tank. I don't know if he has siege mode yet or not. Oh man, he's actually pushed all the way back, and now he's gonna have to get siege mode and basically just hold his front. Best is not gonna be able to do much, but Firebathero could even things up. Oh no, but Best has gotten himself Dragoons right in his main base, right ready for this drop. Man, I think he did have a scout inside of Firebathero's base. As you saw, the observer did go into FBH's main, so he knew what was going on, and FBH is out of luck here. Wow, this is really not good, and there we go, there we go. There is the signature move from Best, going for the fast arbiters. There is January. looking stoic. There is SKT1's coach, looking like he's recently used a lot of crack. His hair is always in that kind of I am a crack user way, you know, like kind of messed